welcome to Once Upon a Stitch Nook. I'm going to be walking you through how to do the Hachi strawberry grid on a knit garment. This is the Nana Hachi crop top, and I'm applying the grid of the little strawberries on here if you're following along with the pattern. And this is supposed to be a very thorough demonstration for you how to do that, but this is a tutorial that will work for any color work that you want to duplicate stitch in knit. This will walk you through the steps very carefully through that as well. So you can apply it to your own project or if you're following along and using this specific grid. So I have it pulled up on my computer. And then if you look here, we have our two colors, our pink and our green. I have threaded up the pink, and you're going to want it basically as much as you feel that you can kind of tolerate without making it tangle and mess. Because you're going to need to work with quite a bit of it. And then what you're going to do to know how to place your grid. This is what I recommend, is placing stitch markers on either side and mapping out. You can either do it like in four corners to know exactly where. I just like to know the borders. So my Hachi strawberry grid is 25 wide. So I have marked 25 in between my stitch markers here. So I have 25 rows, I counted them, and then marked the stitches on either side. And I know I want it to be placed here on this front piece of this garment. And then height-wise, I decided I wanted this high with the 24 stitches. So you can, of course, go higher, lower, knowing this is going to be where you're working within. Initially, I had it higher, and I brought it down to about here. That I think will look good. And in this case, knowing also how the grid will look, the strawberries are a little offset, so knowing that the higher strawberry is going to be closer to the shoulder, I like that. That's why I put it on this side of the garment opposed to this side. So all that prep work, once you have that done, you know whatever grid you are using, know the layout, and mark out where it's going to fit into your garment. Whether it's a very big piece, a very little piece, that's just helpful to do, especially for bigger pieces, I would say. And so I have my yarn, and I'm going to bring you down so we can start working the grid together. And I'm just going to be walking through specifically the grid I am following. So I'm going to be taking you real time with me how I start this. And so I'm looking at my grid, and I noticed this corner here is going to be blank, and we want to see where the strawberry starts, which is a little over here. And we're going to count it. So I count 10 blank stitches before we get to our color stitch. So what I want to do is see, this is my border out here, and then I'm going to check it against the row. I'm going to follow this a little bit. Okay, so about here is the corner, and I need to count 10 stitches from here. I'm going to bring my fingers to hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my first stitch is going to appear right here. So I'm just going to hold that till I can get my thread, and I'm poking out. I'm coming under my material, and I'm bringing it at the base of that first knit stitch. So if you can see, we're starting this row here. We want it to come out at the base of this, where you can follow that there's this loop for the knit stitch. And then what we're going to want to do is mimic that loop now. And that loop goes behind the stitch. So what you'll do now is bring your tapestry needle, and it's going to follow up and go under the two legs of the stitch on top of it. So you're going to push that through and bring all your yarn through with just a gentle, firm tug. Now we want to follow this loop back in here. So we're going to go back in. Now what you often want to do, if there's a stitch that you're going to do next to it, which I have 3 stitches to do, it saves you time. Let me try to move this out of the way. To insert here and then come out right next to it, the stitch next to you, which is a little hard because I have this guy here. You want to come out at the base of the next stitch that you want to do. So I'll pull that through so you can see it. You can see we have a full knit stitch. That's a duplicate stitch right there. and it's at the bottom of its neighbor right here. You just double check that is in line with the same row, like so. And you're going to do the same thing. This is just a lot of repetitive work and just placing them in the right stitches. So we're going to go up and behind the two legs of the next stitch above and pull our yarn through. Okay, I have one more stitch to go, so I'm going to insert into here at the base where I just came out of and go into my neighbor's bottom point where the little loop comes to a point. There we go. Repeat, I'm going to go up under the legs of the top knit stitch, pull that through. And now this is the end of this row. I'm not going to go into the next one, so I just need to finish this one off. And what's helpful now is to notice, where is the needle going to come out again? It's going to come out on the next row, one over in my case. So I'm going to put it in, and then I'm coming up like it where I would normally come under at the base of this one. I'm coming up at the base of the next stitch on the next row. Okay, you can see how it's higher up here instead of being down here. And again, we're going to follow the loops. So the loop is going behind these guys, and then I'm going to work my way now this way. But you're basically doing the exact same steps. I'm going to speed it up a little bit and just let you watch this progress. Making sure my yarn doesn't tangle, and just keeping the tension nice and even through them all. It's okay if you go slower at first when you're doing this, making sure it's just double checking where your points are going. Want to go in here, out the side, and as you're working on top of your previous rows is quite helpful because then it indicates to you exactly where you should go, easier than when you have just a blank space that it could come out anywhere. But here, you know, it's going to have to come out right out of this loop that we already have. Whoops, I went too far. There we go. So I really like it when I can start building on top of or below my rows. You can start either at the top of a grid or at the bottom. In this case, I just thought it would be easier to start with the strawberry so we can see the strawberry come together. And it has a nice big blocky shape. So now I'm going past my already established stitches because the next row includes 2 stitches to the left. Okay, oh, it's getting a little tangled there. I'm going to adjust that. So, okay, one more stitch this way. Very nice. All right, and now as I go back in, I'm checking where I'm coming out again. And the next one is 2 stitches over on the next row. So I follow along 1, 2, and then should come out the base of the next row. Just double checking that, and then I pull it through. Since this one's further away, I want to make sure I'm not tightening the tension too much in the back, that it's still stretchy but not overly loose either. Just enough to carry it over and not make it pucker. Now let's work our way back this way. We're going to have our first seed in this row. Make sure I see it. So we're going to work 3 stitches this way. 1, there we go. Then 2 going under the top legs. And at this point, I might remove my stitch marker so it's out of the way, because he keeps liking to tangle, because now I know this is my bottom and I'm not going to need to come back here again anyway. Okay, my third stitch before my seed. And the seed, you would either do a color change, but in my case, I'm just going to leave it a blank stitch for the light pink to show through. So I'm going to finish this stitch by going back into the same place. And then I'm noticing I'm going to skip this row and come out here. Let's go into there. Let's skip a row, a column, I should say, or row I think also works, doesn't it? And column probably is better. And you'll see, oops, you do not see where'd it go? I don't see the yarn. Oh, I went to the wrong spot. So this is a good opportunity to show you how to fix this. Now, you can either see if you can trace back your stitches if your yarn isn't catching on to anything. So I'm going to attempt that first. And that worked. If that doesn't work, unthread your loop and then use your tapestry needle to find the last point you want and gently pull it back. So I insert into this one, I skip that stitch, and I go into stitch over, like so. I'll pull that through, and that's correct. That looks right. And now I can build up and continue the rest all the way across. And this one isn't going to extend past, so it's just going to be 4 of the pink stitches all the way across. So hopefully you see how we're looking here. I'm going to continue working on this strawberry section, and I will pick up with you once we get to the green section just to show you the transition of adding in a new color, but the principle will mostly be the same, so shouldn't be any big surprises, but just to help walk you through it in a little more step-by-step fashion. Alright, so here I'm finishing the last stitch of the pink part of this side of the grid, and since I'm already getting short, I'm just going to finish this one off and then start a new thread for the secondary strawberry. So what I'm going to do is finish this stitch by poking it at the bottom of the space, just pulling it into the back gently so we don't tighten it too much. And then what I like to do is just secure it back here by wrapping it around some of these back loops. You can knot it a little if you'd like. I like to just kind of travel it a little bit till I'm pretty sure it can't come undone. So that looks good to me. Let me grab my scissors. Get clean. There we are. So that's what our first strawberry is looking like. You can see a little puckering is appearing. When I steam it, that should even out very nicely. It's nothing a little heat won't fix. So now I'm going to thread my green. I'm going to cut off that end to make it cleaner. Okay. There we go. I won't need quite as much, so I'm going to just kind of guesstimate the yarn I currently have. And I don't like to cut off my the yarn thread that's attached to the ball yet until I'm a few stitches in, so it's easier to get it secured. Because as you can see back here, I eventually cut it off and I'm going to weave this back in here. But I'm not going to worry about that for now since it's not bothering anything. Now I'm going to work back into the strawberry in the spaces where the green starts to come down. And it helps to check your grid and where is the base point. So for me, it's these 2 stitches here. So I'm going to poke my needle up at the bottom of that knit stitch. This is very nice because it's nice and outlined. Oops, way too much yarn. Let me adjust that. Okay. And then I'll make my stitch by coming up under. Now it's very nice because we have the color really outlining where the stitch is. So there you go. And I'm going to go into my neighbor here. So I'm going to go down at the base. You can see that down here. out here. Okay, pull that through. Oops. Okay, making sure your tension staying good. Let's go under the top legs here. Good. And you have the option for this to work row by row, or for me, I'm going to kind of just work from this point out, looking at my grid. It depends how you prefer to work, but I'm just going to do it so that my loose ends in the back hopefully aren't going to be as wide because I have a stitch all the way out here. I don't really care to carry my yarn that far. So I'm going to go up, which means I go into the bottom of the stitch here and I come out basically be in between kind of where I already have my loop made. It just comes out of it because that's where this loop is coming out of. And then we go under the legs as usual and making that stitch. And so from here on, I'm just following the grid. So I have 2 stitches over here that I left empty space for. Oh, my hand's at an awkward angle. There we go. Push that through. And so now we're working with our secondary color into our grid. And you can see the whole image and color, bringing it into a more visual strawberry than just the pink was. And you can do, you know, brown or whatever, you know, have fun with the colors if you'd like, or if you'd like to outline it all in pink. That would be cute too. So go ahead and keep working up your grid as you have it with your new color.